I wanted to address history painting directly with these narratives, these missing narratives from art history that speak about Indigenous experience. My name is Kent Monkman. I'm a visual artist, and we're in my studio. So after painting as an abstract painter for many years, I had realized that I had kind of inherited a pared down language of painting from the abstract expressionists, and I found a vocabulary, my own vocabulary of making a mark with paint. But ultimately, it was such a personal language that I found that my audience was left outside my work. At that moment, when I was turning away from abstract painting, the themes that were emerging in my work that I wanted to address with representational painting were themes that had to do with colonization. It was really about colonized sexuality. Why is there homophobia in Indigenous communities? And so as I started to unravel that, I realized it was the influence of the church and, of course, the colonial policies of the Canadian government that had impacted Indigenous cultures. And I wanted to find a language of painting that could speak to those themes more effectively. This painting behind me here is called Two Ships. It's a project I've been working on for over 2 years. Basic premise of this piece, it's a history painting, and the idea is that it's about the Two-Row Wampum Treaty, which was an agreement between the Iroquois and the Dutch. And the idea was that the two vessels would travel in a parallel course, an Indigenous vessel and a European vessel, and they wouldn't interfere with each other. So it was a peace treaty. And I wanted a painting that spoke about that, but also with this work, it's really about the collision of these two ships at sea. A number of years ago, I visited the Rubens room at the Louvre, and I was blown away with the number of huge paintings, large-scale paintings that he was able to execute. I just found it kind of staggering that, an artist would have been able to make that many paintings in that short period of time. But then, of course, I realized that it was his studio, his atelier. It would have been a product of himself and his team of assistants that would have enabled him to produce that volume of work. It really got me thinking about how to be able to create more work in my own studio, to work with assistants, to be able to become more prolific, to cycle through different themes and ideas more quickly, and to be able to allow me just to execute a wider range and larger body of work. And I felt that if I could harness the medium of history painting, I would be able to address very directly these affected Indigenous people.